Hi everyone. Well, I bet a lot of you have got the same question really, and that's, is it going to snow this week? And for those of you that like snow, I'm afraid it's looking like a bit of a letdown. And of course, for those of you that don't like snow, things aren't looking too bad, although it will be quite frosty at times, especially during the second half of the week. But anyway, we'll get to that in just a moment. So we'll start off here with the synoptic charts showing the areas of high and low pressure, and it's also showing the air mass here. So it's showing how cold the air is, a good few thousand feet above sea level. And like I've explained before in other forecasts, this gives you a bit more of an accurate really representation of the type of airflow that we're in, because it's not influenced by the heating of the daytime and the cooling of the nighttime. So it gives you, it's quite a stable area to get your temperatures from. So anyway, we'll run this through. So this is through tonight and into tomorrow morning. You can see these blue colours here showing that it's actually going to be really quite cold. So there could be a bit of a frost tonight, and into tomorrow it looks like it's going to be quite cold. And we'll run this right through towards the end of the week. And you can see as we move into Tuesday, it's still got these blues across us. But then as we move towards Wednesday, we've got this area of low pressure coming up here from the west-southwest. Now, the problem is with this, it's trying to introduce warmer air, but it doesn't really quite make it. And this would be the culprit for the snow that has been predicted by various computer models over the last few days and through various forecasters. But it doesn't look like it's going to really affect us. But like I said, we'll get to the higher level of detail in just a moment. We'll just keep running through this at the moment. So into Thursday, we see these blues come back across us. So it's going to turn very cold after the slightly milder incursion as it tries to come in from the south. And then as we move through into Friday, it looks like a very cold night on Thursday night into Friday morning. We still got the blues across us as this area of high pressure starts to push away to towards the southeast, and we start to see towards next weekend the Atlantic waking up with these big areas of low pressure coming through. And you can also see these colours here across southern England. It's going to be mild, or even very mild for the time of year. And we can even run this through a little bit further. And in general, the conditions stay mild or very mild, right? Really, from Saturday onwards, next weekend onwards, it's going to turn mild, and it's going to be like that for a good week or two by the looks of things. And of course, it will be quite unsettled. So let's run through this evening and tonight, and you can see these areas of cloud across the channel here, some of across us as well. It's quite patchy and broken, but there are a few general cloudier spells, so the cloud thickens up quite a bit and then it breaks up again, and it does this over and over really. So and you can see through the night it does start to break up a little bit towards dawn, but we still see some patchy cloud moving through. Now we can check the temperatures here, and we'll just overlay the temperatures as numbers without the maps here, and you can see that the temperatures are going to be close to freezing, perhaps slightly above across the island, although in one or two pockets, especially out here towards central and western parts of the island, really in localised pockets, we could see the temperatures dropping a couple of degrees below freezing. So it does look rather chilly here, but as a whole it doesn't look too bad really, at least saying really around freezing, perhaps slightly above on Windward Coast. And you can see the wind arrows here coming in off the Solent, so along Windward Coast it will be ever so slightly milder, just above freezing likely, but it will be a widespread ground frost if not an air frost, so it will be certainly quite chilly. So as we run through into tomorrow, you can see that the cloud moves away, so it doesn't look like too bad a day really. There will certainly be a few patches of cloud around, but it looks like there will be a much sunnier day than what we've had today. And like I said, there could be a few patches of cloud around here and there, some high patches of cloud, especially during the afternoon. And the temperature tomorrow, looking something around 2 to 3 degrees Celsius, perhaps as high as 4 in one or two places, and maybe the larger towns like Newport, for example, Sandhurst, Shanklin here. And also along the Solent coast we could see around 4 degrees Celsius. But again, a rather chilly day, perhaps slightly colder than what we saw today. So if you have a quick look at the wind tomorrow, You can see we've got a moderate breeze, or a light to moderate breeze across the island, perhaps a little bit stronger over open water. And yeah, it doesn't look too bad, really, does it? The winds are generally quite light across the land, so really 5 to 10 miles per hour perhaps. And out over open water, we're looking 15 to 18 miles per hour at the most. So now let's move into tomorrow night, and it looks like we're still going to be seeing some clear spells. Perhaps a little bit more in the way of cloud, which will be quite high cloud, some of this, but it doesn't look too bad. And then as we move through into Tuesday, we're going to be seeing some good sunny spells, but we will see these front approaching from the southwest or south-southwest as that area of low pressure moves towards us. And yeah, it will be quite a chilly night again on tomorrow night, with temperatures widely below freezing. So really, we're looking at -1, -2, perhaps -3 degrees Celsius across some parts of the island, especially away from where any wind is coming in off the sea. But the winds will be very light, and there could even be a few mist or fog patches locally, especially towards again away from coastal areas, so in central parts of the island here. So then as we head in towards a Wednesday, this is where the complicated bit starts, really. You can see everywhere is completely overcast, so there's a lot of cloud around as we go through the day on Wednesday, perhaps starting to break up later on in towards the evening. And with this cloud, this is when we're not 100% certain, but at the moment it looks like we could see perhaps the odd wintry shower overnight Tuesday into Wednesday. Not really expecting any snow from this, perhaps a little bit of hail or sleet. But then as we move overnight and into Wednesday day, we can see this area of what is actually rainfall across the channel here. This was originally looking to be perhaps moving into this area here with lots and lots of snow. Now, we did mention though yesterday in an update that we gave that the highest risk really of this, of the highest chance of this, where this is likely to head to, would be down here to our south. So that as a low area of low pressure moves across France, it will be bringing in this rain through the English Channel, really. Very small chance of it clipping us. It seems very unlikely at the moment. And so that just moved through, and like I said, just stays just to our south, with some snowfall then perhaps developing over France, but not really affecting us, or at least it doesn't seem that way. Although there is a little bit of chance, a small chance it could still change, but at this point it looks very unlikely. So if you have a quick look at the temperatures for Wednesday, it looks like really 3, perhaps 4 degrees Celsius around the coast here, especially where the wind's coming in off the sea. If we do get anything falling, it would likely fall away to maybe 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. But like I said, that looks very unlikely at the moment. So we're expecting 3 or 4 degrees across the island as a whole. And it will feel chilly with a bit of a freshening breeze. And we can see that freshening breeze, which is actually a change in wind direction. It starts to come in off the south through Tuesday evening and into Wednesday morning. And then it gradually comes back round into the northeast through Wednesday as that colder air starts to push back south again. So then as we move through into Thursday, or Wednesday night into Thursday, it doesn't really look like we'll be seeing much in the way of frost. It'll still be relatively cloudy and a good breeze blowing. And then as we move into Thursday daytime, I mean, look at this, virtually no clouds at all. So it looks like a beautiful day on Thursday with some really clear blue skies and a really crisp, fine day. And yeah, an absolutely beautiful day really to get out and about. And there'll be a bit of a breeze blowing, of course, but the temperatures really do look quite cold on Thursday, with 1, 2, perhaps 3 degrees Celsius in a few places. And of course we've put this on midday because by Thursday we go into a lower resolution type forecast, because the data isn't quite as there's not quite as much data per forecast at this point. So so we can only go for 3-hour intervals. So midday we've chosen for this, and you can see that 1 or 2 degrees Celsius across the island, and yeah, certainly really quite chilly. So if we take a quick look at the wind on Thursday, you can see the wind's coming down from the north, and fairly breezy at first away from the coast. But as we start to head through the day, the wind starts to drop off. But on overland, really we're looking at wind speeds 5 to 10, maybe 12 miles per hour. Over the sea and more exposed coastal areas and over the hills, perhaps 12, 15 miles per hour. So not really too bad at all. Although then you can see something changing once again as we move in towards Friday. And you can see the winds gradually starting to come around more into the west and even to the southwest down here, further out to the western parts of the channel. And that's a sign of things, a bit of a change really, that change we mentioned to milder weather. So after what will likely be another frosty night on Thursday night into Friday morning, we move into Friday and we can see another fine day with some good sunny spells. But the temperatures, I don't know if you can see it very well on this map, but the temperatures are likely to be starting to rise, especially in more coastal areas, perhaps 4 or 5 over land still, but certainly starting to get a little bit warmer as these winds begin to come in from the west. And that, like I said before, is the beginning of a bit of a change, or really, should I say, the beginning of a significant change to some much, much milder weather as we head towards the weekend and beyond, with some rain at times starting to arrive as we move into the following week. But for the coming week, it does look mostly dry, perhaps with the odd wintry shower on Tuesday. Certainly will be some night frosts on most nights, a couple of hard frosts potentially at the beginning and at the end of the week, and it will be turning milder as we move in towards the weekend. So anyway, that's all for now. Of course, if anything changes with the potential for the channel, the snow coming in off the English Channel, of course we will let you know. But at the moment, it's something like an 80% risk of it staying to our south, with maybe a 20% chance of it potentially reaching more coastal areas. So anyway, that's all for now. Goodbye.